Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Christina and I'm from Ukraine. This is my first independent trip in my life and I want to share it with you. I go from Ukraine directly to Poland and more precisely from the city of Kiev to the city of Warsaw. Actually, this is an archive video and it was shot in summer of 2022 year. In general, in order to get to any airport, now all people in Ukraine use trains, buses or cars. As you know, airplanes don't fly after February 24th, 2022 year since the full-scale invasion began. So my way is also no exception and I go from Kiev to the city of Helm in Poland, after which I have a change to the second train and there I get directly to Warsaw. In general, my way took about 22 hours and yes, before from Kiev to Warsaw you could fly in an hour and a half. So I already arrived in Warsaw. I was met by my friend who will be staying with me for 3 days. That's how long I come here and I'm here on business. I have an appointment, but the rest of the time I'll be walking around and looking at this new city for me, as I never been there before. Actually, Warsaw is now quite a popular city for Ukrainians, firstly because Poland sheltered a lot of Ukrainian refugees at first full-scale invasion, and secondly there is one of the largest nearest airports in Ukraine where you can usually get to the airport. By the way, if you are not yet subscribed to my channel, subscribe. I will be glad to see you here on a regular basis as a regular and viewers. Here I talk about ordinary life in Ukraine, our blackout and power outage, our culture, in general medicine, education and so on. And if you want to support the channel even more, you can do it on the links that I put in the description to this video. As you can see, I was shocked that there are a lot of wide bike paths here and they are in demand and generally very high quality. Actually, while we are walking around this wonderful city that greeted me with very cool weather, it's quite warm here but not hot, sunny, but despite this there was a little rain. I want to announce the next video on this channel, which I'm sure you will really like. This is a video about an office, about work and about a shelter for employees in one of the largest Ukrainian companies. This company employs 65,000 people and I'm also working here now on a project basis. I'm sure you will be very interested, especially to look at such places as a shelter in such large companies. In fact, I walked almost all of Warsaw on foot in these 3 days and also used all public transport. There is a very big difference with Ukrainian public transport actually, despite the fact that in general Poland and Ukraine are very similar to each other, and this is not strange, but as for public transport it's much more developed here, much more accurate. There are no outdated buses that should already be written off, very good metro cards and also very good roads. Everywhere where I walked they are really school roads. This applies to roads for cars and bike passes. I walked in general almost all over Warsaw since my meeting was on the outskirts, but of course I visited all the tourist places that I managed to in 3 days, the historical center and also modern areas, more expensive, older. We also walked around shopping center, or rather one of the largest shopping center. In general, I really like this city. I also really liked that there are really a lot of green, clean, neat, large parks here. In addition, despite the fact that, of course, Warsaw is the capital of all of Poland, in general, there are a lot of services that all people from most developed countries, including Ukraine, are used to, such as taxi, for example, Uber, Uklon, Bolt, also Bolt Food, Glovo, and other usual deliveries for us. That is in principle all Ukrainian services or other services that we are used to in Ukraine. There are also specifically Ukrainian services. For example, the most popular delivery service in Ukraine has opened here in Poland. It's called Nova Post, and 2 years ago it went beyond Ukraine and is now developing in many European countries. Actually, if we talk about prices, then I didn't feel much difference between the Ukrainian capital Kiev and the Polish capital Warsaw. Accordingly, in principle, prices for housing, food, taxi services are the same. Yes, of course, in Ukraine over the past 2 years, prices have grown very much. I talked about this in previous videos on the channel where we looked at prices for rent, food, gas line, and so on. And before the full-scale invasion, prices were completely different, unfortunately. Of course, salaries are not growing in Ukraine in the same way, but it's clear what this is connected with. In general, I felt completely safe in this country, and of course, there were some very strange feelings. For example, when you see ordinary planes over your head, you understand that for you these are events now and not just some ordinary thing as it was before, because only military planes, helicopters, and so on fly in Ukraine now. And of course, for several days, I had such a report. I felt like an ordinary tourist. Of course, this has not happened for a long time. We have not left Ukraine for a long time. As you know, men generally don't have the opportunity to travel absolutely outside the country, and of course, we're talking about ordinary men, and men who are in power are usually here and there. But the video is not about that. In general, it's cool to feel like a tourist like in the good old days, and return back to my family, which I have, as you know, in Ukraine now. At the same time, I'm already returning back to Ukraine by the same road using 2 trains. And thank you for spending this short journey with me. See you in the next video on the channel. Bye!